What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to cover why in the world is season 3 one of the best seasons as far as Genshin sponsored character development has gone. Alright, it's early in the morning, so just mind the nose blowing, right? So I thought about this while playing Kefla. I just every character in season 3 is pretty good, if not the best of their class, at least on release, right? So first we start off with Vegito. Obviously, you gotta make Vegito good. His abilities are insane. He passive is cool. The more enemies you hit, the more buffs you get, right? And I thought about this, although it's not with Bardock, but a lot of the new characters are predicated on hitting multiple people. I mean, Bardock has AoE stuff he can do, but right, he doesn't gain. Who actually, no, that's not even true. He gains a buff from hitting people as well, or multiple people at least. So we're thinking, right? His passive Rebel Warrior, more attacks he receives. Essentially, if you're taking more, it's not offense based, it's more defense based, but it works a lot better with multiple people fighting him. And then even with this one, right? When his gauge is full, it becomes an AoE attack. Multiple people, right? And you have Kefla, who her rush attack hits multiple people. And when she does hit multiple people, he gets a easier time to vanish, right? So I just wanted to say, why are these characters so good, right? And I think it's a lot of it boils down to popularity, right? Because Bardock and Kefla aren't the most hype characters to some people. I love Bardock. Kefla kind of on, but yeah. And I just think that if they made these characters kind of a flop, they would just not make money at all, right? I mean, they're good, but it's great, they're cool, they have cool effects, the game is beautiful, but it really does help that these characters are at the top of their class, right? And next season they just have to release a technical character, because at this point, if the tech characters are in some form or fashion as good as the other roles, it's just gonna be dominant. The game is just gonna be dominated by these new characters. And I feel I mean, that's good, but you don't want to have a meta just be 3 to 4 different characters that are only good or are only just better than everyone else in their class, right? And this goes down to the abilities as well, right? So we're looking at Vegito. It doesn't have anything crazy in his kit, just abilities to hit multiple people. Now Kefla, well, let's start with Bardock. He came out first, right? Bardock can inflict wrath on people. I think this is the first time I've seen it. I could obviously be wrong, but the fact that you can make people target you is, I mean, in any scenario, this is good, right? 2v1s, it's good. Defense, it's good. Holding down a tower. Offense, it's really good. You want to fight with a teammate. And just in case, I mean, even though he's a tank, he does have this movement ability, although it's not that fast in the early game. But yeah, they're implementing effects that they never would have done with other characters, and I think it's pretty cool, because at some point you have to understand that you can't just copy and paste movement speed down to every character, right? You gotta add some sauce to it. And then with Kefla, she doesn't really have a lot of buffs to her kit, but her passive, the more attacks you do, you just get vanishing steps, right? This plays into this plays into her whole speed thing as a character. She's a very fast character, and I think this is probably the first character to include the rush attack usage. So if you guys know, when you're doing a rush attack on an enemy, that red cursor, if you're fighting one enemy, right, it does nothing, right? You can just move the cursor anywhere and wherever you want, it'll still hit them regardless. But Kefla, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the only character to have a decent usage, or not say decent, but a usage for using the cursor on a certain character, right? That's where you get the gigantic ball opposed to the small one, right? And like I said, the more attacks you do with her, you can use your evasive vanishing steps, which is pretty damn cool. And you can use it while attacking, which is pretty damn cool. Right? She's the first ever character to do this. She's predicated on moving speed up. She's being an overall pretty fast character that has a lot of movement abilities. And like I said, Vegito, pretty not bland per se, but not a lot of sauce to him. Just really damn good, right? Now, with all this being said, what do I expect him season 4? As far as like character-wise, like ability-wise, it would depend on the ability or depend on the character. But I will say, if they do go with a Yamcha, I want ult where like you can probably pre-select positions, which might not be the best thing to do, just because people are always moving. But at least an ult that would be like insanely easy to control, right? Because if you have Super Saiyan 3 Goku, is like it's Kamehameha at least kind of like slow to move up and down. There are other characters that you can move attacks with, obviously, but his just comes to mind as being like a really slow one. Now with Yamcha, like I said, a moving spirit ball would be fire. Who else did I want? Can't think off the top of my head, but you could do a lot with a lot of characters. I think that one of the first characters to implement a cool like ISO is Cell with his ult, right? At a certain level, you get a dual people, which is actually fire, right? So I don't know if it blocks everything, but you can like you're essentially like stuck in a 1v1 with Cell, right? That's pretty cool. So ties into his whole like Cell game aesthetic, right? And then with Hit, he just debuffs you crazy because his whole thing is you don't want to be seen. He's an assassin. He makes quick work of his enemies. I think that's pretty damn cool, right? But as far as the other characters, they pretty much play into their role as a character and like their strengths as a character itself. I don't understand why Vegeta is so predicated on being like a tank per se, but I mean it works. Like we needed like a proper like a pushback tank, which is cool, but like I don't get why they use Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta for that. Could have been like a Jiren maybe, a Bodamageddon. That wouldn't sell. That just wouldn't sell. Never mind. I mean, I guess I'd use somebody for it. And then Gotenks, he has a bunch of ghost attacks that just slow you down. 17 with the barriers. Broly with the just straight up just offensive juggernaut, right? But not a lot of like special effects, right? They're pretty much just like you expect a character to act a certain way because that's how they are on the show. That's just what they are in the games, right? But I feel like moving forward, season 4, if they have more effects, right, we could have some disgusting characters. I feel like game guide, let's do, I think it's effects, right? Negative effects. Schools, bosses, then grab Veggie Battle, Finders, Keepers. Oh, I will get to this, right? So we have, these are buffs, right? Buffs, strike up, attack down, attack down, attack down. Not a lot of, there could be a character that could debuff people, like an aura, which would be pretty cool. We have defense down, pretty typical. A character that reduces defense, or reduces HP. As fire, we have Topo that does market destruction. But yeah, I feel like eventually we'll have characters that like, ooh, this is nice. This is not Flea. I think this is what the God of Destructions put on when their barrier goes up. I think, I'm not sure, but a lot of these can be their own characters, right? Obviously, you have Hit with blindness, obscured vision, and all that. Maybe I think it's Mark II, but like it's you could do so much with these effects. I think it's pretty damn cool, but they just need the right character to do it, right? And yeah, with all that being said, I just like the next season's got to be crazy, or else like either they nerf these characters that just came out, or they just make better and better and better characters. All right. Now, with all that being said and all over with, right? I did want to cover the news for today. We are getting a new battle, which is I think Sword Delivery. Yeah. So in order to do this one, it's kind of like capture the flag, right? There's a sword in the middle. You both rush in, and you have to carry for 60 seconds. You can break barriers. You're only able to do like a certain rush attack with it. Let's take a pull up the video right now from the team, which pretty much goes over it, right? Let's see. But yeah, if you haven't already, follow the Twitter right here. Right, follow the Twitter. So we're looking at Genshin Squadra. Cover. So this is the sword delivery mode. Nothing crazy, right? Just single capture the flag. Everybody, like, you can hold it. You can only do certain attacks with it. So your typical rush attack is not allowed. You have to use that one. Break the chains. Pretty slow, right? I think you can. A good way to get XP, just some quick games, but it's not like a typical game mode. But if something a little side game mode, if you do want to play it. But yeah, it's just capture the flag, kind of. But yeah. So, like I said, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys do like this content, go down, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know who you expect to, like, who do you want to see in the 4th season, and what effects you want them to use, or at least how strong do you want the characters to be, and what roles do you want them to fill out, right? So that was it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.